cartoon that we're going to draw today. It's called Buzz Plug, and it's a play on a crime scene where something naughty happens. I'm going to start with my blank canvas, and I like to first just sort of sketch out the area of what I'm going to do. Doesn't need to be neat, but I'm like a director. I'm laying out my scene, what angle we're at, what are the important elements for the joke. You see here I have a woman on the left and I have two figures on the right. I block them out like that in that shape just for size. Sometimes I'll draw too small if I don't first kind of block out how big the person needs to be. Here I've got my two figures on the right, which are going to be my police officers who've come to talk to a woman who's lost her wife in an unfortunate electric toothbrush accident. And so I'm sketching them out, and I decided to flip it because they're going to talk first and say, your husband was electrocuted. We found an electric toothbrush near his body. And she'll say, my husband never brushed his teeth in the shower. And the last cop will say, if it helps, the toothbrush wasn't in his mouth. And that's the joke. So to make that joke work, I need to have my cops here on the left, and I'm outlining them now. And I can see already that the police officer on the top has a head that is way too large. I'm going to have to scale that down. But I want the guy on the top's handing over the toothbrush and the evidence bag. The guy on the bottom is taking notes on his little policeman's notepad. And they're both detectives, so they wouldn't have a badge on necessarily. As much as I would like to draw a badge to make the joke work. The guy on the top, he's kind of film noir looking. He's got the trench coat and the fedora hat. The guy on the bottom is sort of just the grizzly detective that you see on Dateline. And here's the housewife. I imagine her maybe in her bathrobe still. She's got her hand in her pocket. She's sort of shocked by what's happening. She's walking into this scene later. Where she was while she was in her bathrobe and just found this out, I don't know. But I want her to just look like she was at home. She's sort of casually living her life. And she comes home to this horrific scene with these two police officers here. So now I'm going to start adding some shading. I like to crosshatch. I find that the drawings look best when they work without color. Color doesn't make my drawings any better usually, so I like to make it have as much cross-hatching as possible as I'm doing here in the door now. That way, when I do add the color, it just makes it better. So I'm cross-hatching the door, and I'm getting a little sloppy with my lines, but it's just supposed to sort of make the sense. And I don't like the way I did this. It's just too much noise, so I'm going to back it out and space it out even more. So when I do add some color to it, it'll just make things look like they're in the background a little more. I'm going to put the frame on this door. I'm going to crosshatch a little bit bigger. Try and keep those lines equidistant apart. I'm going to write the word caution. So we see this as caution tape. And so now our brains recognize this familiar scene. When writing comedy, especially a single frame like this, you need to have as much familiar as possible in the scene so people can jump right in to see what's going on. If this was them in a spaceship or something, or it wouldn't make any sense right away, and your brain would have to figure out what's going on. But the scene of a home, there's a shower in the background, it kind of makes sense, and so your brain's able to work with that and say, okay, I understand what's going on here. There's a home, and then these guys look like police officers, and I think that the joke resonates pretty quickly. You get the idea. So now I'm going to start painting. And I have my Sappy Days color palette here that I use. I like to have one primary color that's the background. In this case, I've chosen this sort of desaturated pink, and then everything will play off that. Bathrooms tend to be pink. I also use yellow a lot for the inside of a home, but I like pink for the bathroom. For some reason, it just feels like a bathroom or near a bathroom. I've given her some different shades of pink. I've put almost peach color, but it's really just pink with more light. And then I highlight the shower and the man's foot in the background. Now I'm going to add some shadows below just to make the scene look real and that they actually are occupying this space. I'm not going for realism per se, but I do want it to look like this actually happened. And if these people are in this space, there would be shadows. I'm going to add my signature, and we're done.